Hello, today I am going to talk about the Frankston Level Crossing Removal Package, also known as SkyRail. This project is part of a wider Victorian State Government initiative to remove 50 of the most dangerous and congested level crossings across Victoria. The Level Crossing Removal Authority, or LXRA, has been tasked with finding solutions for identified rail crossings that have major safety and congestion issues. Both rail over road and rail under road options have been analysed in the design phase to improve rail infrastructure, whilst also required to address environmental and biodiversity concerns in the local landscapes. Solutions aim to improve transport services for road users, rail users, pedestrians and cyclists. The LXRA identified 11 crossings on the Frankston line that needed removing. 3 have now been removed and the final 8 crossings on this line are in various stages of planning, design and implementation. Each of the level crossings identified for removal has its own set of environmental and infrastructure concerns that need to be addressed. Each crossing must have its own design based on the environmental concerns of that section of the train line. The LXRA refers to these solutions as packages. I'm a local resident of Frankston who gets caught up on the Seaford Road intersection every day. Therefore, I have chosen to mainly focus this presentation on the Seaford Road crossing, Seaford. Other key stakeholders who are affected by this project include local and state government, the local community, local businesses, road users, the Frankston City Council, the Kingston City Council, and the community group No SkyRail, Community Action Group No SkyRail. The majority of these stakeholders are for the upgrade and all the rail crossing removals. The Frankston City Council and the local Community Action Group No SkyRail are definitely against. The Seaford Road crossing has been identified as the busiest road crossing to be removed on the Frankston line, with approximately 17,400 vehicles travelling per weekday over it. The Seaford Road crossing links road users to the Frankston Freeway, Peninsula Link, Eastlink and Nepean Highway. And you can see from the top image that's a current picture of how the particular crossing looks during the morning peak. What you can't see is the tail end of those cars goes back probably about another 50 cars on a single lane of road. The initial design advised by the state government and LXRA for this section is based on an elevated rail model which would open up the road crossings under the rail line and create more open space to be utilised for pedestrian and cyclist pathways. It aims to create a safer environment for road users and get local traffic moving more efficiently across the rail lines in bottleneck areas. The local environment is the major reason why the government has chosen an elevated rail model over the trench style or rail under road model used in other level crossing removals. The specific environment in Seaford includes Ramsar protected wetlands which the train line goes directly through. Environmental assessment has identified that the risk to the wetlands is too great with a rail under road model. Local residents closest to the rail line have voiced concern through Community Action Group No SkyRail that rail under road is possible and have started a Not in My Backyard campaign to try and stop elevated rail. The state government has negotiated with the wider local community to mitigate concerns about elevated rail and has changed its initial design where possible. A new solution for Seaford has been called Rail Over Road Hybrid. Its design includes lowering the road by 1.5 metres, not deep enough to affect groundwater, and then building up a high embankment for the train to travel on. The embankment will sit 5 metres high compared to the original design where there was an 8 metre rail bridge. You can see the bottom picture on the screen is the view of the Rail Over Road Hybrid, which is the current plan that they want to use. So the planning lens. The planning lens I'm looking at in relation to this case study is rational comprehensive planning theory. It stems from a sociological movement. Max Weber in the 1950s theorised that rationalisation would allow society to be more efficient in its actions. Parsons further theorised that rationalisation would fulfil society's need to have strong social order. From this sociological movement, Faldudi evolved Weber and Parsons' rationalisation theory into a planning systems approach in the 1970s, what we refer to now as rational comprehensive planning theory. Under this theory, planning and practice should be done logically, rationally and comprehensively, evaluating and analysing all consequences from all possible planning and design actions. It's also cyclical and flexible in its systems approach, able to respond to new situations and analyse these and make changes appropriately. Positive aspects, it's a solid framework for practice to identify, analyse, look at best options and make a decision based on the best long-term outcome at the time. On the negative, it can take a long time to complete all relevant analysis for every possible outcome. It does not include social planning and it ignores budget constraints. It also puts the power solely in the planner, not in the community for the decision-making process. Overall though, it's recognised as a useful tool to safeguard public interest. Being that the LXRA is a public project, I felt that this was the correct lens to view link to the Frankston level crossing removal package. The planning design process taken by the LXRA seems to have all the hallmarks of a rational, comprehensive planning theory in practice. The process for determining the packages has followed a very logical, rational and comprehensive order. Each level crossing that has been identified for removal, including Seaford Road, has been analysed and investigated by the LXRA for the best design solution based on specific criteria associated with each level crossing. They followed a structured approach to each crossing removal, proving flexible when taking community concerns into consideration and reanalysing and redesigning infrastructure solutions to make sure the project gets the best long-term rail infrastructure in place for the Frankston line. Thank you.